Hello, this is Pastor Randy. Give it to us.
It is night.
It is night. Who remembers the Night series? Welcome to Q&A with PR, PG, and PK. Living our best life here in the executive offices that overlook the Fusion Room, our junior high room. Thanks for joining us. Man, great things going on. I didn't get no questions, which is not even a complete sentence.
Not really much.
We have a few.
Well, I'm going to take yours.
We have two.
Okay. Why don't you let us know what one of your favorite series that Pastor Randy has taught at FCF Church, or it could be something that Pastor Kim or I have taught as well. It's less likely. I mean, more likely Pastor Kim than me, but.
Now I can partially answer that. I had someone yesterday tell me what their favorite series was. It was recent. It's the one, Words I've Always Wanted to Hear, I think is what I call it.
Oh, yeah.
Words every soul.
Or Words Every Soul needs to hear.
If you're going to quote yourself, you need to do it right.
Well, I don't remember.
It's kind of...
once I finish a series or even a message,
what'd you wear yesterday?
The next one. I can tell you I wore clothes. I was not in penny loafers and naked, I can tell you that.
We have digressed. All right, let us know what one of the series or a message that you liked, and I'm going to go ahead and drag this over so that Pastor Randy
But anyway,
can see
that particular series that I just mentioned, Words Every Soul Needs to Hear, we're actually going to put that into a devotional format and a group format with video clips where that series can be used for group material. Coming soon.
If anyone knows why our Facebook Live lens keeps going wide angle, Faith would love to know.
Yeah. Drop
it in the chat. Watching from Middletown. What's up, Ross Gosnell?
Joe Suh would know.
Joe Suh would know. It's not Sue. It's Suh. It's Suh. Ross, are you coming tonight for the homeschool orientation? I heard they have over 100 children signed up. I think 150 total.
Wow.
Family members, and there is, I believe they've closed 2 classes because they are full. Are you coming tonight to orientation, Ross? Curious. If you are, probably not, because you don't need to be orientated. You're already pointed in the right direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. All right, let us know if you can hear us, Miss Carolyn, and then why don't you drop some questions in the chat? Drop it right now. Ask us something that's so hard, and we will, on the spot.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Faith, perhaps, is the one that could answer it. What is the exact title of my message for this Sunday? I know it's something like...
Wait, no. You got to tell me at the end.
How did I get here?
You got to tell me at the end.
Is that... Well, I know. I was thinking, what is the exact words for the message title this Sunday? I think I have a mixed picture of it. I have it written down, of course.
Words every soul needs to hear.
But I knew it was going to be asked later on, and so I was correct. How did I get here? Okay.
So, and that ties to like every pre-service meeting we do, every production meeting. In the middle of it,
you better bring it.
Bring it. I do say that to you. But I always ask you, when do you want us to come to the stage?
Oh yeah.
And about 50% of the time, you know. Actually, you've been doing better lately.
Well, I usually can point to one of 2 slides.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as long as those slide numbers stay the same, we're good. Pathway to Wholeness. Yes. Coming. Oh, he is coming tonight. Awesome, Ross. Hug you then. Feel free to like and share and drop some.
To get some feedback on favorite series that we could then transform into material is not a bad idea. But we've got a couple leads already. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, bud. My microphone's flopping all over the place too, Pastor Kim.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should ask a question.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should.
That is what we're doing here.
He's preparing his microphone, so I thought it would be a good time to ask a question.
Yeah.
I think our first one is perhaps from a high schooler. I think she had sent this in and wanted to know, how do I deal with my atheist friends at school?
It depends on so many things. It's like, are your atheist friends challenging your views? In that case, you want to try to gather reasonable data and listen to them, gather reasonable data and express their view, and you give your view back. If it's just that they're being mean-spirited and mocking, it's best to be quiet. Throw your pearls before swine. But if there's sincerity of debate, there's an opportunity to share truth, which then the answer would be is you need to do some basic study on, creation evidences and things of that nature. So it's a little bit hard to answer. I don't know what's going on.
Are they hostile? Are they making
exactly.
fun? What exactly is
or is there sincere scientific debate, in which case Christians do your research, rise up, and share the truth that's available. Because there's a lot more compelling evidences for creation and a creator than there is for atheism. It is very, very hard to prove atheism.
Right.
It's much easier to prove a personal creator and creation than it is to prove. Because atheism is essentially saying everything came from nothing for no reason. That's irrational. That's madness. And the best and the brightest can't really prove any further than that. They have theories, whether it's the Big Bang or multiverses and string theory. But they're theories. They don't know.
Yep.
Well, why can't God be included in that theory? And when you look at the evidences behind a personal created being, they're overwhelming. They're evidences that stand up in everyday rational thought. If I see an automobile, for example,
Existence.
And I asked the question, how did it come into existence? Well, it just poof and came into existence accidentally.
No. I was walking past the junkyard,
and a tornado blew through.
And when the tornado finished, there was this big, really concentrated dust.
Yeah.
Really, and then in front of me landed a 1964 Chevy Corvette.
There it is.
Running. Keys in it running. It was running.
There it is. And that's essentially every atheistic argument for all that exists. That's what it comes down to. It's just this resistance to even considering that there might be an actual personal creator. So I don't know if we're answering this person's question or not.
Well, my suggestion too would be go on our either website or YouTube channel and look up Bible Institute, Why We Believe, and that just can give some really helpful everyman understanding arguments. That you don't have to know the details, get into all the scientific evidence and stuff, but it gives some things that you can say to someone that, hey, well, how do you explain this? How do you explain that?
And one thing that is there is that we talk about the Big Bang because at the time that was a popular, it's not as popular now, but it's still fairly popular in scientific circles, and the Big Bang fits
evidence.
it fits into what the Bible says, because the Big Bang theory is that there was a time when there was nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
And then it came into
in empty vacuum, nothing, and all of it very suddenly came into existence. Well, that's the biblical description. In the beginning, God, there wasn't nothing, it wasn't a vacuum.
The physicist, his last name is Smoot, and he says the best narrative we have to explain the Big Bang is the Genesis story. And he says, not that I'm a Christian,
but
it makes the most sense.
But it's the one that makes the most sense. So here's an atheistic scientist saying, well, that is the best explanation.
There's several of them that will acknowledge, but particularly the anthropic principle, that our particular planet has all these very fine-tuned things. And it looks like somebody fixed this place up just for us. Or it all happened by accident.
You see this phone?
Yeah, there you go. So it's an accident, man. They come into existence all the time.
I'm walking past a computer repair shop.
And all at once it flew into your hand. Functional.
If I told you that, you'd say, nah, man, you're crazy.
One other thing, too, back to this young woman is, sometimes we get stressed out like we don't know enough to have the arguments. But someone can't argue your own story. So you can say, look, all I know is, it's the story of the blind man. He says, all I know is I was blind and now I see.
Oh, hit him with it.
So if you just say, they can't argue with your own story. Like, hey, whatever you choose is for you, but for me, this is what I know. This is what I'm living. So always.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach. I mean, you could even say something like, well, I don't know about you, but I've put my trust in Christ and I follow Him. Everyone is following somebody. You may choose to follow yourself. Most people do. But I have not found anyone better to trust and follow than Christ. And so, if you want to know about Him, I'll be glad to share more. But if not, you're free to follow yourself or any other scientists you want to follow.
Yep.
What's up, Pablo, Buddy, Miss Bernadette, Miss Faith? No idea who that is. Miss Sandra Maples, what's going on? Oh yeah, that was a good one. Why you believe?
Yeah, why we believe.
Oh yeah, bud, it's real good stuff there. Next question.
Okay.
We'll keep it moving.
All righty. How do we navigate being salt and light to others versus staying away from wicked and foolish
that's a
people?
good
Because
question.
Proverbs says, stay away from a fool, for you will not find knowledge on their lips. Like a muddied spring or a polluted well are the righteous who give way to the wicked. So how do you, and then salt and light?
It's a good question, and it really comes down to, this is going to sound judgmental, but you have to at least attempt to judge the person's spirit. In other words, if they're a cynical, hostile individual, well, then I think it's foolish to attempt to share truth with someone like that. But there are fools, having been one myself, that are not necessarily aggressive. They're just fools.
Right.
And for them,
Ignorant.
you want to try to open a conversation, and so we're to be salt and light before everybody. Salt and light has to do with our conduct, not so much what we verbalize. But as far as sharing with the person that may fit the description of the biblical fool, I think that there's times when it's safe and it's wise. You share with the fool, and the fool might turn to Christ and not be a fool anymore. There are aggressive, hostile, cynical fools that are to be avoided, and they will get you in trouble. And I think that comes under the heading of don't throw your pearls before swine, So, but it's a tricky question, because on the one hand we're supposed to go into all the world, make disciples of all nations. At the same time, we're not to throw our pearls before swine, and there are individuals that are open, and then there are individuals that are not open. Here's the tricky part about it too: the person that may at one point be a cynical, hostile, aggressive attacker of you and of your faith in Christ, a different season in their life.
Teachable moment, reachable moment.
All of a sudden, they're totally wide open. I've told the story endlessly. The two guys that I rode up and down the road with for 3 years in construction work were initially the most hostile, aggressive, cynical.
They were wicked and foolish people.
They were wicked and foolish people, and they were violent people, man, big-time violent, and now they're both wonderful Christians.
Don't you think a big thing there then too is it's because I think of the end of this, who give way to the wicked, righteous who give way. So it's that idea. It doesn't mean you can't be in their presence, but it's what you allow them to bring to you, and you're like, I'm here to be salt and light. Things that they say, they're not my, like you said. I have hurtful friends that are not my advisors. They're my friends, but they're not my advisors.
Yes.
I'm not going to listen to what I take things they say with a grain of salt or whatever. So.
Yeah, and being salt and light, I treasure my years, my 17 years of construction work, 10 of which were as a Christian, because what I learned how to do is how to show respect to a human being that didn't deserve respect, okay? And how to put the best construction on somebody when they're in other words, those guys, they could hardly communicate without utilizing profanity continuously.
So like Pastor Kim.
Kind of like Pastor
Same
Kim.
thing every day.
And so what I learned to do, though, is listen past their words. And the idea was, okay, so I know you're trying to communicate with me. You're interested in me as a human being. I'm interested in you. Even though you're saying this in the worst way that it can be said, I'm gonna speak to your soul and respond to your soul, not to what's coming out of your mouth. So it was good practice and good learning. So you can be salt and light without taking issue with everyone, or allowing them to take issue with you. If the person is getting to you, you're best to be silent, in my opinion. Just shut your mouth, because there's nothing worse than a Christian who somebody has gotten their goat and now you're angry, and they're loving it. You've lost your cool as a Christian, and they're just rubbing their hands together. Yeah, you Christians, this is who you really are. It's a funny thing how unbelievers, once they know that someone is a follower of Christ, they will go out of their way sometimes to try to get you to stumble and to catch you in the I got you, kind of thing. And I suppose it's some kind of a mechanism to make their own conscience feel a little bit better, but it gets aggravating when you're a Christian. Now, when I was doing construction work, I kind of got where I loved it because they would ask questions. And I was like, oh, yeah, keep the questions coming. Because they thought they were all going to be, I got you.
Yeah,
but they were not, I got you. They were expanding my avenues to share truth with them in ways that I couldn't in normal conversations. But it doesn't always work that way.
No. I think the point at which you sense that someone is having an impact on you or having an influence over you is the point at which you need to distance yourself from that. So if you
or at least go silent. You know, at that
I'm
point.
saying if you struggle with alcoholism, I would not go to the bar and try to share your faith.
No, absolutely not.
You know,
I'm glad you brought that up. I've been wanting to
talk with me about it.
Yeah.
Pastor Kim, profanity. Me, alcoholism.
we should stop this because there might be some poor soul that would not know that we're kidding.
We're kidding.
Right. Lisa said she had fun on Sunday. Ice cream Sunday.
It was delicious.
You know what? You and I talked, and I went out the door to go outside to get my ice cream and to hang out.
You never
and
made
as
it.
I came going out
adults,
the door,
I saw you.
Well, what happened was one of our ladies came in and she said, "Ice cream is gone."
Every bad story starts to see what happened was that's what hit you with.
She literally said to me,
that's the same thing Ethan said to me. I'm like,
she said, "Ice cream is gone." I'm like, "Oh."
We had leftover ice cream.
There's boxes of ice cream in the fridge.
What's the lady's name?
Lisa McMahon.
No, it's she's an unusual
Kim.
name.
Jessica.
Tawn
Emily.
looks up at me and she says, "The ice cream's gone."
She was probably messing with you.
No,
So
there's boxes and boxes of ice
So I
cream.
just stayed in and talked to the young adults who were hanging about.
Oh, see what happened was that's the same thing. I hear my one of my electronic devices go skidding across the ground in our hardwood floors, and I said, "What was that?" And I hear Ethan say, "It was your iPad." And then he said, "I'm like, what happened?" He said, "No, see, what happened was." Like, no. But I kept my cool. I literally looked him in the eye, said, cracked the screen on my iPad.
Oh.
I said, "I love you more than I love this iPad." I digress.
Funny.
Okay. Here's another question I think came in from Neil.
Okay.
Was there a large crowd at the Sermon on the Mount, or was it a small group of disciples, or even was it just the 12?
Yeah, the impression that I get from the passage is it was likely, I can't say absolutely, a large crowd that included his disciples. And I have to understand when you say disciples, there was the inner circle of 12, but there were others that were clearly committed, and so they were not of the 12. The 12 get appointed later after the Sermon on the Mount. But my impression is that it was a larger crowd of people. Many are just considering, listening, curious. Is he going to do a miracle today? What is he going to talk about? And then there were those that were already followers, and then, of course, there was the inner circle of the 12. Now, when you say inner circle, you always have to factor in
Judas?
One of the inner circle was a devil, Jesus' own words.
He had 12. He had 3. He had 1.
There you go. Yeah, the three were good. The 1 was not good.
Yeah.
Well, the 1. Are you thinking of John?
Yeah, beloved John.
Yeah, he's good. But there's the 1, Judas.
Yeah,
not
he would have been on
not
that.
so good.
So he'd have been like 12, 11. He'd have been kind of on the outside of the 12.
It really was more appropriate to say the 11.
Every once in a while, if sometimes in ministry people aren't happy with what you do. They wish you'd done something different, or you let them down in some way. You can't be all things to all people. They want you here, somebody else wants you there, and you fail. And then you go, you know what? Jesus was perfect. And one of his closest friends tried to kill him. So.
Look at parenting. God, the first parent, had 2 rebellious kids.
Yeah.
They turn against him immediately.
Yeah.
So, it just shows it's not easy. It's not easy.
One more question?
We got no more here.
Oh, fantastic.
I know.
have no more.
It's
Which is
finished
good.
up early. We're busy.
We're trying to get this to like 25, 30 minutes is our
Yeah.
goal. So we did good. This Sunday, you already spilled the beans. Is it even worth you keep going here? Or you just want to close it down, throw it away?
Well, I at least recalled the title. How did I get here? And
I don't know. You're sitting next to me. How
He
am I supposed
crawled
to know?
under the table.
He did.
today I did
Today.
come with a new route under the table.
Like an Ewok. He just ducked under.
We should have totally caught that. That was
But
good.
Pastor,
the message is about there's times in our life where we just kind of find ourselves a bit unhappy, dissatisfied, confused, disoriented, and we say, man, how in the heck, I'll add heck, well, that's not part of the title.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
We don't say that.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
And of course there is a way, there was a definite pathway, and there's value in understanding the pathway, because if we're ever going to get out of the uncomfortable place we find ourselves in, we kind of have to know the pathway, how we got there.
Passage?
Now the good news, well, 2 Kings chapter 17 is the key passage, but that's the turning point passage. But the key is this, and this is the good news. Okay, it generally speaking takes us a long time.
Hi, Miss Debbie.
It's a slow drift, long time to get in that place where we don't know how we got there. But the good news is to get out of that place can be very fast. Yeah.
I was going to say, save it.
Don't give it away.
Save the good news.
There's
Make
only
'em-
a handful of folks.
make
They
'em come
won't,
and
they won't
see.
tell anyone.
This will get 1,000 views for Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I believe me, there will be a little bit more in the message.
That's not it? So I should still come.
There will be a little more. You should. You should.
I'll do
Right.
There's at least a little more.
it. 9:15, 11:15. Great things happening. We'd love to see you. What's going on here? You try a new curl technique?
No, man, why are you poking me in? My breast
Today's my sister's birthday.
Oh,
my
Miss
breast
Shelley.
I don't know if she's watching, but if you are, Shelley, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
I'll see you
sis.
later
It's
with
Shelley's
crab
birthday?
cakes.
Yeah.
And she's
you need
3
to get out of
years,
here.
3 years
I'm
old?
taking crab cakes.
She's 3 years older than you, is that right?
Oh, don't tell him
2.5.
that.
2.5, okay.
Yeah.
Secret.
Yeah.
Secret.
Man, you're poking my breastises again.
I'm glad I'm not sitting there.
All right, here we go. Join us. 9. All right, who's going to hit the screen?
Oh,
Pastor Randy's got a direct
I
shot.
know.
I have been
exactly.
pretty on lately with this. I'll let you amateurs go first.
Oh, Pastor Kim. She's an athlete.
Ooh.
Oh, she was low. Go ahead, Pastor Randy.
No.
Bam!
Woo!
That was pretty good. Oh! I was way off.
Whoop.
I was way off. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you on Sunday.
Bye.